there. It's a beautiful world out there.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beautiful Minds at Work. So, today I'm joined by a very special guest all the way from Bangalore, Miss Vidya Vivek, founder Vidya Fashion Academy. She is a very talented fashion mentor with excellent education from India and abroad. She has obtained six masters and PhDs in many specializations in the field of fashion education, apparel design, and been awarded with a gold medal from late President Sri Abdul Kalam. And she is also being India's first TR supermaster and director of TR Cutting School India in association with Shinghu Sato, Tokyo. She is an excellent mentor and guide for thousands of students all around the world. And today she mentors even many prestigious colleges and universities like NIFT, FDDI, Bangalore University, Sona Engineering College, PSG, GCU, and the list is very long. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to Beautiful Minds.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be there on this platform. Thank you so much for choosing me for talking today.
So let's start with your journey. Like, when did you decide that this is the field? Fashion is your passion. Like, when did you realize this thing?
So basically, I'm from the science background. I quit medicine to pursue my dream of becoming a designer or I love fabrics, basically everything to deal with fabrics, the magic of converting that 2D fabric into 3D. So I thought I'm doing the same job of cutting and sewing, but not humans for humans. So that
Mhm.
brought a big passion. Back in 90s, there were not many schools that were giving so much of importance in the technological area of fashion studies. So we had to do just about costume designing courses and stuff like that, which was more majorly focused on clothing area rather than fashion area. I'm talking 94. So that those times we were not much exposed as Indians for ultimate reach on a curriculum or a career based fashion learning. It was more on a hobby based and working for industry kind of stuff. So I did pursue those costume designing and had masters in sociology and understanding people's psychologies and stuff like that. uh, Further on, I was more onto the education side of fashion, but I was also running my own brand, work from home kind, where I was helping those complex body types which were ready-mades don't fit well for them. So I was trying to help them with having their own style with the body challenges that they had to overcome them. So I used to do clothing for such people rather than doing everything. So those who find difficult for having clothes from the general market or ready-mades, they're complex in terms of heights or body types or complexities in terms of our body challenges. I would do clothes for them and on a personal note and give them. So I was not doing as a general boutique, what you call, but it was more on a specialized designs for people who required different approach for clothing. So apart from that, I was also into teaching segment. So that's the reason I'm into the academic, doing so many courses and having so many masters to give best for our Indian students as such. The journey started since 94. So it's
Okay.
been long decades. So more than 2 decades into the industry. And I'm more on the niche segment of fashion studies now. Previously, I was working for universities which were focusing on the career based on the industry segment of fashion, like working in the factories or retail segment or mass production concept. Now I'm more onto the niche segment of fashion because made to measure is more sustainable for me than made something to and wait for the buyer. So I would prefer making something more sustainable fashion. So I pursue more on that area, and I have more opportunities to design rather than dictate. So that is what one area. As an education segment, I did do a lot of courses from different universities across the world, and the finest ones I did in Europe. So I did TR Masters with Shingo Sato. I did subtraction cutting with Julian Roberts. I did study certain techniques with Enrico Battinier, who are experts in their areas and inventors themselves. And apart from that, I specialized on lingerie and bridal wear, which is called modellistica viti di sposa in Italian. So I specialize on clothing like corsets and braceries and stuff like that. So for me, it was less in Indian curriculums to learn such kind of techniques. So that was my motto where I started in early, you can say early 2000s, where I felt that our Indian students require, apart from industrial training, they need to work something to be a more entrepreneurial level of learning and be masters of themselves to run their own show. So that's how I started my own school in 2011 with all the journeys that I worked with many designers or having those knowledges. Today, I run a school in India called Vidya Fashion Academy in Bangalore, where we are training students for the niche segment of fashion learning, like made to measure. And right from 0 degree to 4 degree of garments, you can say, that means next to skin to overcoats. We cater for all types of fabrics. Basically, I would say, in a simple words, we train to learn science to excel art. So that is what I would tell them. So they, if you just name the subject, we have it, but it is all focused toward fashion, whether it is chemistry, physics, maths, biology, geography, anything based on location. We talk about fabrics, we talk about the properties of fabric and its feasibility on clothing and anatomy of body, so how you can do cuts and stuff like that. And coming to the TR concepts, it's an actually architectural way of doing pattern making. So 3D garment construction, that you call a boxes coming up, or an origami that is we've been used to see on paper, we are doing it on the garments. So when you
Okay.
see human body is a 3D body, it is not flat. So contouring them at the same time, also getting those designs in a very architecture way of approach with an engineering approach, it gives you very specified and precise fit and form to the clothing. So today, you can say with the God's grace, I've been mentoring faculties and students from various universities, from NIFT, NID, FTDI, Bangalore University. Also, I'm the BOS member for engineering, fashion, technology segment, where I've been constantly making a stress on changing our perception towards fashion in our country, because we think fashion is more like modeling, you need
Yeah.
to be like a model and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for me, I had to change that. It's more like a profession rather than just modeling and visual understanding. It's our one of the basic needs, that you can say, when you say food, clothing and shelter. These the clothing comes in the main requirements of human being, isn't it? So that's there in our cultures, that's there in our day-to-day requirement. So it's more like a profession for me rather than just a visual understanding. For me, modeling is a second, another segment of fashion industry. Clothing is another segment of fashion industry. Mass production is another segment. Similarly, it's a huge ocean of different areas. So when you talk about digital things, we have fashion there also. We have fashion everywhere, whether it is cars, watches, clothing, hairstyle, everywhere we have fashion. So each can go in different areas. So I picked up the technological part of it in making of clothes, and pattern making is my core, basically. So where I construct jackets, lingeries, or braceries, or jumpsuits, or you can say anything, like anything you name it. We work on the pattern development. We strongly believe that pattern is the main source of making any garment, because end of the day, the consumer wants a good fit and finish, rather than just the visual understanding of the design, because end of the day, they need to wear it, they need to feel the fabric. For me, fashion is more tactile rather than just visual looks. So that is
That's
my
great.
journey for 25 years now.
A great journey indeed. And I like when I was reading in the article that you started with these preparation of dolls garment and all that
Yes,
for your
yes.
toys.
So
And
yes.
yeah.
So as you understand, in the early 90s, like it's every girl's dream of dressing up those dolls, right? So that is where I explored myself, that I have an eye for these things of clothes whenever I would see something. but it was not like a career, it was more like a hobby for a,
Mhm.
otherwise I'm a tomboy style, like riding bikes and stuff like that. But when somebody would ask me how to do this garment, so I would imitate that onto the clothes of the dolls and stuff like that. So I never thought I would be a designer at the early times, but
Mhm.
initially my education was mainly focused on becoming a doctor. so
Mhm.
so I
Yes.
think I do the same job now, cutting, sewing like doctors do, but no blood involved.
Yes. Yes. And you started like from India, and then gradually you moved around the world for your education, or even you're now working with fashion designers from all over the world. What kind of changes do you see as far as like the professional attitude is concerned, whether it's like India or the other countries? And what new learnings have you like accumulated from there?
Yes, so a major thing that changed my persona of looking into the education of fashion, I stopped working on looking at to the grades and marks that they get. So in our school, we do not have any exams or things like that. We do not have exams at all. So we have a concept called evaluation process. So we evaluate them at different stages to help them
Mhm.
to learn better. So I one thing I strongly understood is that before learning you cannot judge anybody, isn't it? Like
Yes.
one day of their work cannot be judged for their entire year of input they have put. Maybe they were not
Mhm.
well on that day, maybe they could not do best on that day. So the circumstances would change in the 3 hours. I cannot decide the future of somebody's career.
Yes.
So we do not have that. That is what changed to me. I now don't strongly believe on marks or exams and stuff like that. I strongly believe on projects and work that they do, like it's a physical
Yes.
product that they make,
Hmm.
rather than just doing exams and scoring
Yes.
high
And
marks.
moreover, I feel it's more like a creative field. So it should be like people should be given time to explore their creativity.
Yes, yes. So we do not have any marks that is worked on that. Only on their
Mhm.
presentation skills we guide them. Every stage, every 3 months, we evaluate their works, and I would
Mhm.
see that we can help them where to progress with their evaluation
Mhm.
concept. We can tell them you lack in this area, so you have to put more effort on that area. So at the end
Mhm.
of our course or a curriculum that we are looking at, our students should be able to have a confidence to deal with the client. So I
Mhm.
don't do fashion shows for our school. I ask them to put their money on budgeting into their line and make
Mhm.
clothes for sellability, not for showing
Mhm.
in the fashion show.
Mhm.
So build your clients first, first make your client circle, then do a show. There is something to sell that time. And there is something to come, like you have people, you have customers to come and watch your show and buy your product. So at the beginning of the course, when they are a student, they have very ambitious designing happening. So they
Mhm.
don't know what their customers require exactly. So
Mhm.
after a period of time, I want them to do show, not immediately after the course they have finished. So after 1 year or 2 years, we bring back our alumni and ask them to make collections, call their own customers, to showcase new collections and new stuff like that. So then they have sales happening. I feel sales are more important than just having publicity, just having a clothing that you made and it is lying in your wardrobe. It is waste. If somebody wears it, it's the joy for a designer that yes, I designed that dress. That is more important for me. So I prefer any designer who wants to be as a fresher. I would like to say put a stall or collaborate with other stores, sell your products first before you make it into a big show or something like that. So invest money on selling, like you do ROI on your clothing, and then work on your fancy side of celebrity designing and stuff like that. So I do not support the first stage only as fashion show. I would like to do it on the third or fourth stage of their establishment of label.
So you frequently visit like Milan, which is like a mecca for fashion designers and all. How has your experience been there, and what have you learned from there?
I one thing was initially like culture shock, you can say, because I'm a very much South Indian, and very first time when I met my mentor, They would walk around me and see how I've stitched this dress. Like basically, I wore sari, and they were astonished to see there are no stitches and seams. Uh, like first time they are looking at you with the sari, they were like, "How did you wear this? Where have you
Yes.
stitched it?" So yeah,
Yes.
I had to tell them it's just a piece of cloth which is
Yes.
wrapped around me in a style. So that was
Yes.
initial culture shock, but I would say that they are very warm, welcoming for anybody who are open to understand and do things. I did not know Italian when I went, but in the process of learning the course and curriculums and friends that I made there, my mentors who helped me with learning. So I'm not very good though, but I can communicate. I can read basically. Basically, I can read the Italian books for pattern understanding and use them for development. So it was nice, and yeah, every time I go, I learn something new. I meet new people. We understand better. I feel rather than seeing on internet or looking into the books and stuff like that, when you really experience something, it's a different knowledge that you acquire, which cannot be taken by anybody else. It's pure with you. And the tactile feeling of knowing things there, you touch, you see with your naked eyes, not like through somebody's photograph or
Yeah.
somebody's version. So you are exploring yourself. So that was very nice, and I had an opportunity to meet my classmates who are there from different countries as well, like from Florence or from Switzerland, like that. We met again in every time I go, I meet different friends. I go to their places. I get to explore like a localite, not like a tourist, because the friends are taking to you places and things like that. Recently, there was a Dior, Christian Dior, Chanel, Coco Chanel's workshop in Florence. And I was getting constant update from my friend who visited that. She had an internship there from the school that she's working with. So we got to know about the inner circle stories that is happening in the designer houses, which is not usually in the public. So
Yes.
that is what you get, which is not published on YouTube or any other social medias. When you meet people, when you actually connect with them, the information that you get is much more valuable than just which is a general information that you get otherwise. So that way it was very nice. And yes, there's a lot of difference when you consider about Indian acceptance of fashion to the international acceptance of fashion. Initially, I was very conscious about my skin tone or my body type in India. Yeah, I was made to feel that way. Because here I have seen that people think that, okay, what is this? She's looking like this. She's dark. She's huge than a model. Of course, how can she be a designer? Hello, I make clothes. I'm not a model. I make clothes for model, isn't it?
Yes.
So that perception changed for me when I did a lot of international things like that. So that is still there today in India, that I request many of us to change it. The perception of building up perceptions before you know the person is always there in India. That need to be a little changes.
It will
Required.
gradually change with people like you who are there to showcase this thing that skin tone doesn't matter. So it will
Yes.
gradually change, of course.
See, see,
And
see.
like, what's your message to the world around especially the young people out there who want to do many things? The planning is there in their mind, but they are afraid to take that first step. What do you want to tell
So the
them?
first thing for this current zillennial generations, I would say that there is no shortcut for success. Okay,
Yes.
so there is no shortcut for anything. You might order in Swiggy or you might get in things, but you want to make your food, you have to do the process of cleaning to making. So there is no shortcut that you can become an overnight designers. Okay, you have to put in a
Yes.
lot of efforts on your goal, because it's your dream. Somebody cannot work for you, isn't it? So they have to put themselves into their dream, not ask everybody to work for their dream. So that is one thing I have seen, that they want instant, like Maggie noodles. They want everything instant in this era, which is not a very right way of going into the line of their dreams, I would say. So take a small steps, like baby steps, so where you are not looking back again. Take small steps towards your goal rather than taking an elevator and crashing down. Take small steps, build your own steps, so that you are not looking back when you reach further. so you don't have to come back and repair your steps every time. So you build a good foundation and go further, whatever dreams that they have, to be a designer or to launch a label or to work for some companies or to work under some favorite designer or guru that they have. Everything goes by step. So I would ask them to have patience and don't find for shortcuts.
Absolutely. And after this short conversation with you, I can bet on this thing that your students are fortunate enough to have a mentor like you,
Oh, that's so
because
nice.
you are a kind of a person who can, along with telling them the intricacies of fashion, like clothing, fabric, and all that, the things like other things which you are life lessons which you must be sharing with them and like guiding them towards the right path, I would say. So that is absolutely like worth appreciating, and like congratulations to you
Thank you.
on achieving all this in your life with your hard work and everything. And I wish you, on behalf of Work TV, very, very good luck for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much for Work TV and bringing me on board to share my thoughts. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing. And I wish all the best to everybody who are watching this and the team as well, to bring in more people to inspire more of our younger generations and those who are aspiring designers as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Good evening. Have a great time ahead. Thank you.